idea. Does it work, by the way?
Krab Media, was it like? What is his name?
Jelle, does it work? Yes.
I don't hear.
Does it work, the mic? Oh, very good. Okay. Okay, very good. No, we have a mic not because of you, but like, it's going to be on the TV, the late news, because.
Yeah.
So we were asked to give a bit of a background about ViaEurope. Again, due to the ill preparation, I'm reusing a presentation that I've given, I think, 4 months ago. So the real newcomers, this will be new information. The other ones, you now might have seen it already.
No, the presentation is the same, but
the talking is much better. Yeah. So I asked. Well, no, I didn't ask. I was told Selma will join this presentation, which is actually very nice and also very powerful, because Selma and I have been working for 14 years. 13 years.
13 years now, yes.
Long time together. But you can also give an introduction on that later on how we got to know each other.
Yeah. So I started as an intern at BJ's previous company. It's also a funny story how I get there, because I was working at another company for 2 weeks, but I didn't like it. So I used their database to find his company. Because I saw there was a vacancy online for an internship, but the phone number was not there, only the email address. And I wanted to.
That was a good reason why we didn't have a phone number.
And I wanted to call someone and have a direct contact, right, to make an appointment. So I used the database because I was working at Stage Plaza. There's like an intern company that is sourcing internships and people. So I called, and then I had an interview on Friday. And really funny interview, huh, BJ?
Yeah.
In a time of BlackBerry, so.
With your big, I still remember your big rock on your finger. That felt like, okay, this girl has like a serious boyfriend, she's getting married. That was like really a big diamond.
Yeah, and the BlackBerry, because he walked in a room with his BlackBerry, still setting it up. So I grabbed it out of his hand. I said, "This is how it works." And then on Monday, I got called that I had the job. So very happy that I could leave the other company and join Shop VIP at that time. Worked as an intern for 6 months and then got the job. Yeah, and then
from there on,
we're here, 2022.
And there's one thing that I remember from that conversation is that I think the interview lasted perhaps 45 minutes. I can talk, but I think I talked for 5 minutes. And then that was the rest. And from that day on, we're still working on that,
whatever.
So that's how we got there, and also that, of course, how.
But a great lesson learned through the years, by the way, that I can really also give to you guys, because I started as when I was developed myself as an adult, and now I'm really an adult because I'm a mom of 2 kids and 33 years old already. But there's one thing that I really learned from him, and it gets back every time in the year or the month, and that is, choose your battles, because some things are not worth to fight for, and you just have to let it go, and it's worth your energy. So I will give this lesson to all of you. Choose your battles.
It's very true. We use it a lot as well together, and I can actually say that also throughout the companies that I had, 2 other companies before this. It is at a certain point. That comes also with age, by the way, as you just mentioned. Is choose your battles wisely, because there's so many things you can get pissed off about. It just takes so much negative energy. Just choose your battles, that you really want to make a point or fight for. Well, that's for the philosophical part of this. Let's go back to the company, and let's go throughout the years that we did. And this is how we started. This is also 2016 when I asked Selma to join again in ViaEurope. I just had an idea. The company that we had before, let's say that didn't turn out very well. I actually had to work again. I had to we were standing on I just said as well, on the market, selling shoes to old ladies, telling listen, oh, that's a beautiful shoe, 2 for 20 euros. To make a buck, because the other company didn't go very well. At the same time, I needed to had the idea, because of course selling shoes on the market to old ladies, that was not my future. Selling phones from China in Europe. Cheap phones, you know, the shitty phones that never work, but you can get them really cheap, and then sell them off. The concept was okay. We made quite a buck on that, but what we also saw is that the whole import flow was just shite. Yeah, the import duties, the whole delivery. So we said, let's make a platform for that, a solution to facilitate the whole e-commerce flow. That's how the idea of ViaEurope started, and that was just with building a platform. I thought, like, let's build a nice platform, and you know, we had some questions, and I asked Selma to join because we had a few more parcels, as you see. Okay, nice company. Then customs came, and that's where Selma can perhaps tell a story about.
Yeah, because then we had our first control, right? So I call him. How does it work? Yeah. Go online, Google it, call customs. Here's a phone number and see how it works. And then, you know, this whole thing started, and also customs started, because if there is a control, then you can ship out. Because that's the
good thing in 2016. Like, customs was still wondering what's e-commerce, huh?
Yeah,
and I'm
exactly.
not kidding, huh? They were still wondering what's e-commerce. So in the beginning it was quite easy, and we said, oh, that's going easy, because we have no background in customs, nothing.
No.
Now she's like half an expert. Well, you're an expert in customs. I know a bit about it now. And so you had your first controls over here, and this was a warehouse that we were using a partner to have our own warehouse. This was not our place. We were just in a place of someone else. Going to China, I remember we were going to China together for the first time as well. After I've been there already twice. You see here Betsy is now our customer success manager in China. I literally found him because I went to China, and my Chinese is, let's say,
rather poor, right?
well, non-existing. So I needed someone to translate me when I go to my meetings, because I found some companies I wanted to talk to see if there's an opportunity. And he was there. He said, yeah, I can help you, I can translate. From that moment that he was just a translator, he's now our customer success manager. Because first of all, he's such a nice guy. Yeah. And he was just, we just had a nice click, and he can really relate also to the customers. And perhaps a funny story about Bet, I'm sorry if you cannot read this, did I tell this? But if you give this guy 2 drinks, he's out. And these kind of like dinners you have, it's always like, you know, Capé, whatever, what is it, like Capé, no? Yeah, Campe in Raja. And I always had this good excuse, I don't drink. It's a very hard line, I just don't drink, so I'm out. But he said, nah, and there you go wrong. So, so he was always like the one, he's the only one from because he also don't drink, so he was the only one from the ViaEurope group who could drink, so he's really like, well, that's fun. So that's how we started off in this business, and we had our first shipments in 2016, and slowly but surely the volume was increasing. We did 2 million kilos that time a year. You can already calculate right now for the ones who know what we do now per month, but there you go.
Hey, Bert.
So yeah, perhaps you can, let me just, I'll start about the hub, and then you can do about the trip actually that we had, which was nice. This is where you saw the previous hub. We went to a new location. Here we already took some more control to ourselves. We want to control the logistics process. We had some more space, and also the volume was increasing. I think we had 1,200 square meters. But here you see the first sortation belt that we had.
It's really small, eh?
Really small. But the principle is the same. Also, when we go to Budapest, we will also start with a very small belt. The principle is very simple. We have a parcel, we put a parcel on the belt, we push it, someone takes it off, scans it, and put it. That means that we scan every single parcel, because that was where we were, the first one in Amsterdam, also in Liège. We scan every parcel. We gather the data, and we want to have higher accuracy, we want to have a higher service level. ViaEurope is known in the Chinese market as being the best, but not the cheapest, which I'm actually very happy with. The challenge is now for us to keep that level of service, but we will have to make some, how do you say that, concessions on our price, because it's becoming more competitive. We have a lot of room for that, but it's better to be good in service and you have to make concession on your price than if you have your bad service and then you need to toggle also your price. So hence this R&D project, again, to increase our service level. That is what we want. Our service has to be high-end. A lot of businesses from China, they will go for the cheapest, but there's a huge market for service, and the service demand will get higher because more and more people will want to have a parcel within like 4 or 5 days from China, for example. So that's on that. Then Bart, perhaps you
Bart,
can...
yeah, Bart joined that year as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyone who doesn't know Bart sitting over there in the corner over there.
Yeah, great added value for the company. Just a little background about Bart. He was already working at an external party that we were working with. So then BJ asked him to join us. So he did.
Took me a freaking year to get you.
To get him.
Even more a year.
July, right? 2017. And
Yeah.
when we finished that year, BJ had a nice idea to go on a trip together. Still small. How
It was doable because
Yeah.
this was the
This
group.
was all
you know?
group.
It could all go in a basket, you know. But now it's going to be a bit more tricky.
Yeah. Can anyone maybe recognize where this picture maybe is made? Because it's not on the ground.
Yeah. Where does anyone recognize where this could be? If you have like some idea, no. No.
No, not this. No.
It's the
like,
Atlas Mountains
yeah.
in Marrakesh.
Yeah. So we went there, and he said first it's a surprise, so I don't tell you guys where we go. But yeah, he thought that my Arabic was not that good. So in the car, and it was 2 cars, I was asking the driver, where are we going? Where are we going? Yeah, so what's new, huh?
Yeah.
So we had a great trip together, get to know each other also very
But
good
this
as well.
is a symbol of what I like to do with the company. And I'm really happy now that this whole COVID, of course, is like going down, that this is possible. And if you ask me, if the business goes well, we do this again, but then with the whole company. I like that. I like it to be, like I said in the beginning, has to be fun. We have to enjoy this.
Yeah.
If it's possible, if it's financially possible, I'm all in. I just said because we had a group with Subhashina and Chris, hey, Koen. I remember names. To go, for example, to the Côte d'Azur and have a nice like workshop session over there. You know, that is nice, and that is makes the business fun.
Yeah, it was a really nice
and this
trip.
was also really nice on that side.
We'll never forget it.
No,
remember, Bart, your shoes?
I didn't know the number. What was the number? Oh, we did. How much did we do?
5.5.
5.5 tons. Just to give you a little bit of an idea of how
So
the growth is
double,
going.
a little bit more than double.
2018. The year we got our own
space.
Our own space. Oh, by the way, also in the previous one, you see this little midget over here. Someone's coming in. That's my daughter. It also shows that how she's growing when I'm growing with the years of the business. So yeah, so she was just having fun over there. This is our own e-hub. Well, the one that we know that we're going to have also. I think tomorrow we're going to go there. You can see it. There was a big move, of course, because there was like 5,000 square meters we're renting for 5 years. Because you have to give a commitment for 5 years. No idea what's going to happen in the next 5 years, but it turned out to be good up to here. But perhaps you can tell this story. Customs, where they blocked all our FBA business.
And then we were screwed because we could not ship anything out, and everything was on hold.
Yes.
And
well, we started our first lawsuits against customs. So we went to sue them rather than they sue us. Because
and we
won.
Yes, we did.
We won. Did cost us a lot of money though. But we won. Now the thing is, what we did over here is also the way we acted is rather smartly compared to our competitors because of our technology. We do the customs clearance per parcel in Holland. Yeah. This was the FBA business. Now FBA business is all done in Liège, but it was the FBA business. And by clearance per parcel means that if there's control, only one parcel remains in control. Well, our competitors had the whole shipment of, let's say, 400 or 500 parcels in there. It was the control, 400 or 500 parcels were stuck. And at that time, we had the famous Mr. Veninga from Customs, who was like,
gone now.
He's now gone. But he was like really like determined that everything we did was like criminal, was not good, blah, blah. Yeah. So everything was blocked, and we had like, I don't know, the whole warehouse at the back was completely blocked, nothing got out. Our customs work, of course, like complaining like this. But by having our partner Customs Knowledge, at that time they really got involved, You will hear their names more. That's our legal and advice on customs. I can truly say, without their support, their knowledge, and their way of acting, there would be a chance that we would not have been here. Because it's called Bart Boersma. It's his own company, and like I think working 20 people or something, 25 people. He's also an entrepreneur. He came from customs. He knows how they work, and he really had this entrepreneurial approach. And he also says, I don't mind to be linked to you because I know what you're doing as ViaEurope is advanced, you're trustworthy, and you're trying to do a good thing. Doesn't mean that we're doing everything right, because we are in a supply chain with a lot of like challenges. Yeah. So he helped us out, and we got it like.
But it also forced us as well to look to other options, to other hubs.
Yes.
And
exactly, this made us. This also forced us more or less, because the whole market they
moved.
went to Liège.
Yeah.
What Steve Martijn one time, Stefan is called. Where's Stefan? Oh, the lazy. That's one of our management. And you can really like, by the way, know who's management. He's already out, like probably peeing or something. I don't know. But Stefan, he had made a presentation one day with like a bathtub.
Yes.
And then there's on the bottom this little thing where all water goes down. The putje. We say it in Dutch. The drain,
yeah.
And then the drain, that's Liège. That's how we say Liège, because all the shit from Europe that goes back, it goes to Liège, and that's how we call Liège. And that's
in the beginning.
Because that's where we started with Liège, the small operation. There you see actually Han, who also then joined. I think Han, you joined in 2018 already. Yeah, you were just before that already, but in 2019 you started, of course, to help us with the hub in Liège. And yeah, here you see the whole challenge that we had, a whole process that we had to set up with customs to check all the parcels bit by bit.
This is still in Amsterdam, this
example.
Amsterdam, yeah. This is how customs are checking the parcels in Amsterdam. So they come, they open it, they make pictures, and then they close it again.
The thing is talking about customs, customs is not our enemy, not at all. And that's also how we, and I also at a certain level, we now know quite a lot of people also at a high level at customs. We tell them we are a partner. And half of customs sees it like that. They want to work with us as a partner because they see that we have the best intentions. Plus we have the technology to do their job actually better than this, because this ain't working. And then you have the other half of the customs who like to just do that, open the trunk of your car, the slagboom up, down, so that doesn't work. We invest in a lot of that, and we don't see customs. They can be, of course, very annoying, and Selma knows everything about it, but that's just your personal frustration. Not your, but a personal frustration you have. But customs, what they do, they have all the right to do so, of course, and they need to do so, because it's a protection of having the right import duties and the right VAT being paid.
Yeah, but also for us it's very difficult if you go, for example, to Liège, and BJ just said it's the drain of Europe. So all the companies go there, and the majority does commit on purposely fraud, but we are there like in the long run and trying to do it good, and then it's a little bit cost time.
But we have the technology and we have the means to help them and to see things. But I'm always very often to the customs. I say, listen, we can do a lot more, and then they come to us. But why don't you do more? So, but that company doesn't do more. If I would tell that to my mom when I was little one, then she would like kick my ass, because if I came home with numbers, I had a 5, the other ones had a 4, she would still tell me, I don't care, you have to have a 6. But in this case, I always say to customs, listen, we have to have an equal playing field. You can put the bar as high as you want, we don't care, as long as it's an equal playing field. So if I have to deliver a URL for every parcel, or if I have to deliver Amazon information for every parcel, I'm fine, we can do that. But then also ask all the other ones, and just make an equal playing field. For us, an equal playing field and a high bar is the best for our business, because we can deliver because of our technology. Our competitors, they can't. They thrive by, sneaky ways and that kind of stuff.
And also we had our summit that year, huh?
Was
the
our
whole
first
China
summit
team coming over? Was our second one. We also had one in 2018.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
because I could not come 2 days because of my maternity leave.
Ah, yeah, because you had this like.
No, then it was out.
Oh, yeah, it was out. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have two, huh?
Yeah, I have to.
Okay, yeah. So it was our summit, like basically what we're doing right now, but then with newcomers, so to say, onboarding. But it was then the whole team. So yeah.
And that fitted still in the
office.
In the office.
It was like still, but here you see Carmen, our sales director in China. She joined also, I think, in
2018.
2018 already. Yeah. So she's also like a long term.
We knew her already before, right?
We knew Carmen already before because Carmen was already, of course, through other companies that we had contact with, and then later on, like many people, we just like
Bart,
come join us. You know, it took us a bit of time always, but in the end, they choose wisely. In the meantime, we were at was it 12, 13 million kilos. Yeah. Then Liège started to kick off big time. Oh, and that is like this, like little Fraggle again, you know, having dinner with lunch with the team. Yeah, Liège there was a necessity for us to go to, because of what happened in Amsterdam. They had like very clear views on the FBA business, and Liège, they just it's Wallonia, and that's the whole where it starts is that they want to increase the how do you say the region when it comes to employment, revenues, and they just like did like this on everything when it comes to customs and on this business. So the whole market went there. There was no choice. So together with Han and of course the rest of the team, we just like went really fast, set up a hub in Liège. In 6 months we were there, had our partner Jost, and we started to build as well, the same as we did in Amsterdam. And then in 2020 we had like a proper sortation and ULD transport conveyor.
And a double in numbers, huh?
And that's when the numbers like really like start to grow. And that's also where COVID started, no? In 2020.
Yeah, the start of 22.
Yeah,
Yes,
beginning of 2020. That's when COVID started.
Yeah,
yeah. That's also what also helped us in our volume, and I'll get back to that later. How that has an impact on our volume last year and also on this year. And here you see, like, you know, this doesn't fit anymore in this basket that we had in for the Luftballon. But yeah, our team also started to grow significantly.
Yeah.
And this, I think, in 2020, this is the year where the business really started to kick off big time. Also because we had like a certain service level again that was really appreciated in the market. We could automate a lot of processes when it comes to clearance, which also made our costs not ridiculously expensive.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's 2020. Then we go to last year, that's 27 million kilos. And then we have, well, our China team. We, of course, there was already the China team, but then we made it official with like an office, which we call not an office, we call an experience center. It's also in the line of our academy that we have now working on actively, is to give a real experience to our clients so they can come to the office and we will learn and explain them more about our platform, but also about the market. Because the more they know about our platform, the more they know about the market, the less shit is on your plate, but the more business we can also get out of it. So that is just, it's a win-win. It's let's say it's a smart investment. There will be, it's not a cost center, it's really like an investment to get more business.
If someone asked you here, would you have an own office in Shenzhen in 2021?
I would say, hell no. Now, and that's also, perhaps that's a nice question that you ask, is that in this year, it's about, let's say, a little bit less than a year ago, because you know when I told you that this business, it's going to be just a business. I'm done with Shop VIP. We had also a whole thing.
Have a look if you like it. If you don't, just try it.
Just making a buck, pay the rent, happy, it's okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
And then, with all these years, it came, and in this year, I made a decision. I also had Mariska joining. We had like quite some talks. What are we going to do? There's quite an opportunity over here. There's more than just a company, like just making a buck, etc. And that's where we made the decision to say, okay, let's go for this. Let's go for full blown. Let's go for ambitions that we will share later on as well. Let's go for a bigger team, and let's try to, go a level up.
Yeah.
That's for us, and if I speak for myself as well, but for you as well probably.
Yeah, little did we knew.
An enormous learning curve. Because I'm not like a proper manager or something. I'm very much a doer. I can build things, I can do things, and I can fix things. But when it comes to the next level, I'm very happy to have, for example, Mariska on board, but also the management team that we have right now, to do that together. Because it's not I'm not this CEO kind of thingy thing. Last time I said to someone I feel like a CEO at the moment. That's not my kind of thing. I'd like to have a company, work on that, and work together on that. But
we just gossiped about that, right, Bogdan and Maurijn? We said the same thing.
Right. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, so last year, 2021, we actually did a bit more than 60 million kilos. I know now by the numbers. That was the estimate we had. And yeah, you see it in our investments, and that's what we do. We make good money with the company at the moment so far. And we invest that back in the company because we have a long-term view. We want to have this investment because even that, for example, this R&D project, up to yesterday and still, that was just a cost project. We invest a lot. There's no Excel behind it, how we can get that money back, but it's just a vision. If this works, if we can make it happen, the clients have full transparency on their part, so they know what it is, and this can bring more also into Liège. So let's see this as a lab, as like a testing thing, and we just see how it works. And if it works nice, we can also implement our learnings with some batteries into I'm just teasing Koen a little bit because yesterday we had some things and there was a truck without a battery, so I'm just teasing him all the time with it. I know he can handle it, so it's just for fun. He's doing a great job, so no worries. But yeah, all the testing that we do here is a learning curve. We can do that again, and it also each time it increases our advantage on our competitors, because our competitors, many of them are just making a buck quite handsomely, and they don't really invest. So give it 2 or 3 years, the market will consolidate, and we should stand on top of it when it consolidates. Yeah, the unfortunate thing, of course, is that we can't go to China. We haven't been in China for the last 2 years, and the Chinese colleagues haven't been here for 2 years. I really hope that that's going to change quickly, because also one of the things is that we are working on, which of course COVID didn't help, is to bring those teams closer together.
Yeah.
It's a really distance. Of course, we have Zoom calls, we have video calls, but also the awareness. We also have our colleague in. I haven't actually officially say hi to you, by the way. My apologies, by the way, because we have our colleague in Malaysia over here joining as well, and to have this sharing of knowledge. Hence, also the academy that we have launched is because not only do we need to know each other, how we are, but also the knowledge. What are we doing? What are the people in China doing? We will have a nice presentation. I heard from. Am I talking too much? Hi.
He said that I was talking too much.
So sharing the data, what we do, and so that we know what is available within the company, which resources do you have available, what can you do together, where can you work on, or just, and then also of course the social aspect. But we need to have that bridge, needs to be as small as possible.
Yeah, and now 2022.
And now 2022. I don't have a slide on that one yet, I think. But I do have like a little recap, which is like recaps what I just mentioned. Is that what happened over here is you see really like, this is where we started. We just said like, okay, this is nice. And then it went just to like, wow.
Boom.
And that's where we are right now. But perhaps on this slide I can share is that this is the line that would make sense, going like this. And we did like this. what I expect for this year, which is not a big deal at all, is that what's going to happen is we're going to go like this, and we're going to go a little bit like this, and then we can continue the line. Because we really had this bump of what we can call the COVID bump, is that our volume, our revenues went up spectacularly because of lockdowns, etc. There was like a lot of more volume. Now also to the very unfortunate situation in the Ukraine, in Russia, it is also for sure going to have an impact on the whole economy. Also means us.
Yeah.
That's just a fact. And then also taking into account that of the COVID bump, we're going to do less this year. It's not a big deal. It's just that we just need to do the best we can. That's good. Of course, we have our targets and we have our ideas, but I just want to. It's not a big deal when it comes to that. If it's less than last year, as long as we have a healthy company, healthy margins,
And great service, right?
Great service, and we enjoy. So that's perhaps on this one. There's like 110. That was, I think in November I mentioned something like that, but that's just like, really like that. I do it in a nice way, but otherwise the other one is like this. So that's just ambition, you know, that we can do what we go to. There's not like hard targets, nothing will happen if it doesn't mean, but that is just a target that we said, okay, let's aim for that. Here's some numbers. What we've done so far in the history of ViaEurope.
So.
Yeah. So we had 650 of those really big, massive 747 freighters. We processed 2,000 containers, the famous 2,000 containers that we have finally reached. Over 6 million parcels. And this is, of course, this is our tech. This is where we are good at, because we declared 104 million declarations automatically. And the team of Selma didn't explode like amazingly. That's really where you see our technology coming back.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
How do we do this?
Together?
That was like sleazy, yeah? Sorry about that. No, we did that. It is really like teamwork how we did this. It's like the team that was like at the beginning just the two of us, and then it became a team. This is how we done it, and this is also how we're going to do it in the future. We have to do it together. We have to have like a really good atmosphere. But also, and I'll go just briefly. I mentioned that briefly, but then afterwards, Mariska will go into more details about it. We have values. Perhaps I can just say one thing about the values. How we got to this is that we had a mentioned meeting together with Loyals, the company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah? A workshop session.
Yeah, workshop session. And they just said, okay, what are your values? We don't have any values. At least we never expressed it. And they said, sure, you have the way you work.
Yeah.
And then in that session, almost unanimously, we came with this. So it was not just, and it was just based on talks that we had with them. It was not just like, okay, let's Google, what does have Netflix have as values or something. No, this is something that really came talking to each other during the management meeting.
You had them already, but we never put them on paper, right?
Exactly.
That's what we did together with them.
That's came out. Yeah. We already operated like this,
exactly.
But we never really mentioned them like this 5.
No.
Number 1, and I won't go into detail because otherwise I'll just do the first one, okay? Then the other ones I'll leave to it. Because the first one for me is the most important.
Yeah.
My wife calls me naive because I trust a lot of people. And my wife is a little bit the opposite. She's very sweet, by the way. Don't have anything wrong with her. But
she's right, though.
No, she's not right.
I'm kidding.
She's right in many cases, but not on this one. At least I believe. I trust everyone always. You have to really first screw me over, then I don't trust you anymore. No. That's my belief, and that's also how we should work together. We trust. There's an open trust on that. And if you do that, yes, you're going to be disappointed sometimes. But if you don't trust someone, it's going to be very trying your whole life, your whole working career, whatever. Because then every time you're like, can I trust him or not? You know, just trust until you're proven the other way. A few exceptions, of course, but no. but that, of course, you have your life experience, so you do what you own that. But that's at least my belief, And I can really truly say that if what works for me, of course everyone has to do it. That's how I work, that's also how I operate my company. It also means that I trust you all. Even if you just hired, didn't even start yet, I trust you already. So that's how we operate. And you first have to do something that makes us not trust you anymore. I'll leave it with that, because otherwise I'm going to take off the whole grid. That's good for our the history, right? That's yeah, okay. Does anyone have any questions about this? How we got here, or if you have any, to me, to Selma?
Our story was really clear.
Apparently. Okay, but feel free. We have 2 days. Do come to me or to Selma. Hey, why this girl of yours? Why is she up in the pictures? Just ask me, and then just ask anything. Okay. What's next on the agenda? I need to talk more. Because you said like this.
I'm gonna take over.
Okay.